Seems like we were just here.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Baby's out?
Baby's great, man. Almost 8 months here coming up on the 4th. So
Time flies.
it does. It does. It's quick.
How do you, and obviously we know DJ's kind of in an uncertain spot. Going forward, how do you just think about the line? Do you have to, think about someone for the spot that you thought he was going to step into, or are you just kind of keeping it open-ended until you have more?
Yeah, I mean, everything's open-ended. I think going into camp every year, we don't really have a set depth chart, even returning starters. I mean, there's always an opportunity for you to win or lose the job. And so, I've got 18 guys that are ready to go out and compete for those 5 spots.
In DJ's position, back in the spring when he was practicing fully with you guys, was the thought that he was going to get the waiver, or what was kind of the situation in terms of where his eligibility?
Those are really good conversations for Coach Riley to have.
Every offensive line kind of takes on their own unit, takes on their own personality.
Yep.
What would the best way to describe this group in 25?
That's a great question. I think really close. I think that's one of the things when I came in and took over the O-line that I pushed really hard with the guys was, man, we got to spend more time together off the field, in the classroom, just any waking moment we can have to come together and continue to build chemistry. I know we've talked about it a lot, but a lot of that chemistry is built off the field. I mean, it's built breaking bread together, spending time together on the weekends. And so I think this is the closest that this group has been since we've been here, and honestly one of the closer O-line units I've been around. I think hopefully that's going to pay dividends for us.
What have you seen so far as just, like you said, building that chemistry on and off the field? What are some of the things that you guys are able to administer to see that these guys can really build together as they prepare for this 25 season?
Yeah, it's something I learned from one of my old coaches was if they're not going to come to you, you got to bring them in first. And so my wife and I have always been big believers that we're going to start by bringing them to our house or taking them to dinners, and then hopefully it'll grow where they'll start wanting to doing things on their own. And so they've started doing these barbecues and grill outs. I know a bunch of you guys have talked about it with them throughout the summer, but it's been really cool because it's grown to more than just the O-line a lot of times, and that's when you start seeing really special things, is when it's the O-line starting it, but then the defensive guys come and the tight ends show up and the quarterbacks come, and then you look and there's 80 people there. And so I think that's been a really big thing with our team this summer, and like I said, hopefully it correlates on the field.
Can you talk a little bit more about your wife and like the behind the scenes role that she plays, and maybe some other people too that we don't see or get to talk to on a regular basis?
100%. Yeah, I'm a million times better coach because of my wife. Even when she worked here, it was the same way. She just wore a bunch of hats when she was the director of recruiting. But now that she's been able to work from home, she is always doing something behind the scenes, and loves being around these guys, loves helping them grow and develop. Studies other coaches' wives and things too to see where she can get better. Some of you guys know Annie, and she's very intentional with what she does, but she never misses a moment to do something for these guys. And then I've got the best wife at home to help me recruit and to just help me prepare really for everything that I do in my job. Cannot give her enough praise for that.
Obviously, continuity is king on the offensive line. One of the big things is the transfer portal. We saw what came out of Washington last week with that executive order. What were your thoughts on that? We're trying to just calm what's going on in college football right now.
Yeah, I've always been a firm believer that you have to win in the high school ranks. I think that's where the majority of my focus has always been and probably will continue to be. So I'll let it play out and see how things go and figure out what direction Coach Riley wants to take it with the program.
Lincoln mentioned last week the possibility of Tobias, Justin, kind of maybe even filling in at the guard spot. How have you liked in terms of their versatility if one of them needs to kick inside to fill in for DJ?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of guys that are really versatile, and I think that's a strength of this offensive line. We've got a number of guys that can move around to different positions. Ultimately, that comes down to knowing the entire offense, and feeling comfortable with multiple guys doing that. That helps you everything as you're kind of transitioning going into the season.
When it comes to the center position, what kind of characteristics, qualities do you look for in your ideal center?
Yeah, I think number one, intelligence, like football IQ, ability to communicate well with others, because at the end of the day, they're making a lot of the calls and they're communicating that down the line, and they have to be able to think really quick on their feet too, have great reflexes, and be willing and able to make those calls and be confident in them.
Is that spot pretty locked down, or you expect competition as well?
Multiple guys competing at that spot always. It's such an important position. But again, we have a lot of guys that have gotten center reps and are doing a really good job.
Anyone in particular you want to say?
Not really.
Okay.
We'll find out after camp.
With Elijah, obviously he took a lot of strides over the course of the season last year, but this offseason, where have you seen him maybe take the biggest steps?
I've been really proud of Elijah. I've known Elijah since he was 16 years old. I was one of the first people to start recruiting him, so I've seen him grow a lot. I've seen him in that building more than I ever have, and it's not for me to see him doing it, it's for him to get better. He's in the film room all the time. He's down on the turf in the weight room working out, getting extra reps. He's doing all the things that you should be doing if you want to be the guy. And so I've been really proud of him for that.
I hopped in here a little late, but could you tell me, what are you most looking forward to this season?
Oh man, there's a lot of things I'm looking forward to this season. I think just seeing the product out on the field for the first time. All off season we talk to you guys about what we think is going to happen, and nobody knows, And so all we can do is train and try to teach these guys the discipline and accountability it takes to be elite, and then instill those in them and let them go out and let it rip on game day.
Do you guys